It was a typical Oklahoma spring afternoon. Kids heading home after school. The first day of the work week winding down. But as the storm clouds began building on the horizon,
we just had the proper conditions, proper atmospheric conditions.
Familiar Oklahoma skies would soon become something horrifically unfamiliar.
We looked into southwestern Oklahoma, and we saw a lot of what we call CAPE. Basically it's potential energy.
Explosive skies reached down to meet the land, and as it moved across the Oklahoma landscape, churning the earth, snapping trees, destroying everything in its path, this monster would only gain strength.
I always said, I don't know whether it's going to be tomorrow or 10 years or 15 or 20 years.
And from this day on,
but statistically, it was going to happen, and it did happen.
We would never view these Oklahoma skies the same way again. May 3rd, deadly force.
This News 9 special presentation is brought to you by Voice Stream Wireless. Get 10 cents a minute weekdays and 0 cents weekends nationwide with Voice Stream Wireless.
May 3rd is a day none of us will ever forget, myself included. From early in the afternoon when severe storms began building in the southwest until late into the night when the path of destruction finally left our state, this was a storm of mammoth proportions. You're about to see some amazing sights. Footage from our trackers in the field, from Ranger 9, home video that will take you as close to this monster as you'd ever want to be. Conditions are pretty favorable for some explosive thunderstorm development. In fact, some of that's going on right now. This main storm right now, just now developing very quickly. Val, tell me what you see. We got your pick.
Okay, Gary, this thing, it's lost its identity for the moment, but it looks like it's trying to cycle back up again. Right now, I can see a lowering starting to form again.
Val, we're looking at Ranger 9 right now. We see a very broad wall cloud and lowering, and that would be over the lake or just a little bit to the northeast of Lake Ellsworth.
It looks like to me, Gary, this thing is rapidly getting organized. The rotation has gotten much stronger.
Val, it's a huge, huge lowering.
Yeah.
And the intensities on the storm are increasing.
I tell you, this whole updraft base is huge. It's a lot more ominous looking than it was when it was over Lawton.
I tell you, Val, there's storms going up everywhere. Go ahead and talk to us about the storm you're on as we look at Ranger 9.
The wall cloud's getting bigger, Gary. The rotation has increased dramatically in the last 60 seconds.
Lowering has gotten a lot lower. Gary, we have a tornado on the ground, a brief touchdown.
I see it. We've got dust, dirt, and debris on the ground right now. Tornado on the ground. There it is. Between Stecker and Surreal.
Gary, this thing is getting bigger. It's a big circulation on the ground. It looks like it could be multiple vortex to me from here.
You're the meteorologist in the field. You talk to me.
Hey, Gary, the rotation, this thing is going to be a big one, I think.
Okay, you know this is a multiple vortex like F2 or F3, don't you?
Dual.
Large multiple vortex tornadoes, very dangerous. Take shelter. Whoa!
Oh my gosh, Gary, it's hitting something right now.
Whoa!
We're on a hill. We're gonna try to get some good shots of this, but there's a lot of debris in the air. Lots of debris. This thing is just tearing things up. It's throwing lots of debris. It's very intense at the surface. Very intense.
How's your inflow?
Our inflow is stopped. It's basically nothing right here.
How close to the storm are you?
We're a half a mile.
Zone. 2 northeast lefty.
There's a bunch of debris going through the air now. A bunch of debris.
I don't see any structures right now in the direct path of it. What?
I wouldn't want to be in the path of it.
Car 21 in Chickasha confirms that tornado due west of Chickasha.
This tornado is due west of Chickasha. Yeah, it looks like it is beginning to crank up again. Val, keep talking to me about what you see.
The updraft looks like a big flying saucer. It's just huge and it's rotating fast.
Sheesh. Have Ranger 9 pull back to the right.
Go right a little bit more, Ranger 9.
That's where it is.
What is that, Val? There we got it, Val. You see it. We see a huge, huge rotation close to the ground. Tornadoes on the ground. We got a funnel on the ground right now, right inside. Tornado on the ground. Debris cloud. There it is. Multiple vortex tornado on the ground.
More damage than any of those others has. I assure you, this thing is a monster.
You know, if you haven't gone to cellar basement, you really need to go now. This is a huge circulation.
I can see it now better. It is definitely on the ground. Gary, this is the stuff F4's made of. This thing is big.
Huge tornado. Huge circulation. Okay, as you watch it, Val, Val, I'm going to need you to talk to me about it because I have to do some things on the radar here.
Gary?
Yes.
It's a wedge.
Wedge
It is
tornado.
a wedge.
Got a wedge tornado that's extremely dangerous on the ground. Whoa, whoa,
Big tire flash,
whoa,
Gary.
wow. Is it going,
I see debris flying, a big piece of debris flying through the air.
whoa, more. There's vortices everywhere. It's extremely dangerous. So you folks in the path of this tornado, get below ground. It's if you can't do that, if you can't do that, get in the center part of your house, a closet or a bathroom, cover it with pillows and blankets. If you don't have that, get on the east or north wall, lots of pillows, lots of blankets, get in the bathtub, put the kids in the bathtub, get in on top of the kids. It's an extremely deadly tornado. Yes, Val, talk to me.
Okay, Gary, we got visual of it. It's only about a half a mile down the road from us. It is definitely a wedge. I mean, based on visual, it's at least an F3.
This is a major tornado of significant proportions, wind speeds we don't
Some of that
know,
damage.
but it's going to level most houses. You folks that are in the path of this storm, it is broad scale. It is broad scale, so do not expect just a single funnel at all times. This is I got to tell you, the rotation is really increasing. Val, I don't know if you can see it or not. Correction 3. Correction 3. Go to storm action 3. Go to storm action 3. Oh my gosh. Take a look at Ranger 9 on that storm one more time there. There's a shot. Oh, whoa.
Gary.
Yep.
It's getting bigger again. It got smaller there briefly just a while ago. Now it's getting bigger. I mean, it's going to pass perilously close to Chickasha.
Whoa. It is turning east-northeast toward the Chickasha area. You folks in Chickasha, take your immediate tornado precautions. This had been moving directly up toward Tuttle and Mustang. It is now turning to the east-northeast. Val, I have circulation of the mesocyclone 6 miles across from max wind velocities in and out.
That's about right, Gary.
And
That's how big it is.
It is huge. Grady County is reporting injuries with this tornado. This is a wedge tornado. This is the type of tornado that you need to be below ground level. I see it wrapping totally around. Is it still well-defined?
It's very well defined. I mean, this thing is still a wedge. I mean, it has no signs of lifting. This is definitely going to be a long-track tornado, Gary.
Where is it in relationship to you?
Gary, we can see another funnel, actually.
Give me the location.
We've got another funnel probably a mile or a half a mile. I got it. Half a mile behind the first. It's on the ground. There's 2 tornadoes on the ground right now. Directly behind the other one.
Okay, we see it. We see the funnel. This is a smaller funnel.
Yeah.
It's a little bit to the left. It's right above the... Yeah, right there. And that's to the left of the major funnel.
Right.
Gee, many
Yes,
Christmas. Look at
right.
that. We have a large tornado on the right. Large tornado on the right. And a smaller tornado on the left. Ranger 9, hold your shot. Hold your shot. And this is just to the west-northwest of Chickasha.
We're going across the damage path right now. It snapped telephone poles off 6 foot above the ground completely, and they're gone. Gary, I would say it is the northwestern edge of Chickasha right now.
We see the debris cloud.
Getting real close to Highway 62.
Okay. Toward Val, we have tornado on the ground again. Ranger 9 is over Chickasha, so we're seeing the circulation a little bit, apparently a little bit to the north of Chickasha. Another large tornado coming down at this time. My gosh. It is north of the Chickasha Airport. Talk to me, Val.
Okay, Gary, it's never even missed a beat. It's back on the ground again. It's just as big as it was before. Like I say, it's a wedge again. We ran across this damage path, and it looks like F3 damage.
South side of the airport, multiple power line flashes, debris cloud in the air, tornado moving through the airport in Chickasha. We have a very significant, possibly deadly tornado on the ground.
That's where it is right now. It's just as big as it's ever been. It's got a massive circulation with it.
Yeah, we see the whole darn thing coming down again, Val.
Yeah, and it's headed in a bad direction.
I still see somebody driving down Interstate 44 to the north.
Yeah, there is.
If you're driving anywhere between Chickasha and Oklahoma City on I-44, get off of that sucker now. We see emergency vehicles headed toward the Chickasha area. It's coming right up alongside the turnpike. The circulation is about 6 miles across.
Power flashes.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Now you folks, as you folks watch this thing now, as you watch this, keep in mind. Oh. Hey, Merry Christmas. We have Gary Worker. and he's looking right at it. Gary, Horkin, talk to me.
Yes, we're heading right into the path of the thing on I-44, Gary. It's amazing. I mean, it's absolutely enormous, and we see a number of other tornadoes, I guess, skirting on just one side of it.
On our map, we're starting to see areas of residential sections in its path now, more towards the northeast.
Oh, my
Look at the stuff in the air.
Oh,
Look at the stuff.
yeah.
Debris. Right behind it.
I mean, it's starting to come into the outskirts of the metro area.
When we come back, the storm, nearing full force, sets its sights on the metro.
Yeah, we need to move, Gary. It's coming right at us.
Going directly toward the northeast of 25. Get the heck out of there.
May 3rd, deadly force continues in a moment.
Gary, we definitely thank you for saving our lives. Where we would have been is filled with brick and concrete. There's no way we could have got out.
And now, May 3rd, deadly force continues.
On our map, we're starting to see areas of residential sections in its path now, more towards the northeast. I mean, it's starting to come into the outskirts of the metro area.
This is a very extremely serious storm. The velocities are very high.
Can you see the wedge more defined?
Okay, I'll be back.
Give us a location. Ranger 9.
Right now, it's a wedge-shaped tornado. It is moving into the metro area, densely populated areas. It looks like they are blocking the highways off some. Val's on the getter. Val, what do you have?
Gary, we continue with a very large wedge-shaped tornado on the ground. I think I can't tell if it's come off of I-44 yet, but it's just as large as it was before.
Val, it's still a little to the west of I-44.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. I can see the toll booth. It's a little to the north, a little north of the toll booth.
Okay.
Looks like they blocked off the interstate, I-44.
Is it paralleling the interstate right now?
It is paralleling the interstate. You know, earlier it turned east, and may do it again, because I can tell you the mesocyclone is cranking up, my friend. It is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay, Val, we've got the tornado right now close to the access road at H.E. Bailey Turnpike. It's going to move into more parts of South Oklahoma City unless it turns to the right. Our only hope is that somehow this thing will weaken. This is a deadly tornado.
We can hear the tornado right now. It is roaring. We're close enough to hear it. There's debris. We're just about to get hit with debris. It's got to be on the turnpike now. It's
Ranger 9.
There's all kinds of debris flying through the air. All kinds of debris.
Okay, Val, Ranger 9 reports the tornado is totally wrapped in rain.
We're gonna have to retreat, Gary.
Keep talking to me. Keep talking to me.
We're gonna have to back up here. We've got large chunks of debris falling on us.
Okay.
Evidently the circulation.
Say again, Val?
Evidently the circulation is bigger than what we thought.
It is a huge circulation.
It's throwing debris well a mile around the tornado. In other words, a mile outside of the circulation, it's dropping big chunks of debris.
Let me tell you, folks, this is deadly, deadly serious. Take your tornado precautions. Do it now. It is moving toward Westmore and southwest Oklahoma City. It has left an incredible trail of damage. It continues to be a very intense, possibly deadly tornado. You need to be below ground shelter. As you look at it, this tornado is moving through parts of Newcastle and southwest Oklahoma City. Go back to Ranger 9. Go back to Ranger 9. We see a stovepipe tornado on the southern edge of it right now.
Gary, we're in Newcastle right now, and north of us, about, I can't tell, probably a mile or two, that thing is still on the ground, and it's still very large. There's lots of debris in the air right now, lots of debris.
Now we see a large stovepipe with a huge lowering off to the left.
Right.
It's approaching the river, getting ready to move into, with the stovepipe, we're getting on. You see the power flashes, Val? Sirens are going off in Moore. This is Moore. Here's Newcastle. It's getting ready to cross the river. It's moving northeastern to the Moore area. It's in Newcastle, getting ready to cross the river, crossing the South Canadian River near southwest 149th Street at the present time.
There it is.
So we've got 2 more crews. They're saying we're going to have a huge big damage.
South Oklahoma City would be the first area to go to.
It is a long-track tornado, potentially deadly. The wind speeds are quite strong with it, we fear. We've seen some damage that's been phenomenal. You have time. You probably still have a few minutes and more to move to a place of safety. Not much.
Yes. It looks like it's on 149th, the southwest 149th Street.
I agree.
It's due east of us. We're on 149th right now. It's probably a mile due east of us.
Yeah, it's headed right at me. I got it in my camera view. It's headed right in front of me. Yep, I see it. It looks like it's about a half a mile from us. It's headed right at my parents' house, and I'm fixing to go for cover.
Gary, it's a half a mile to the left, right in front of us. It's leveled a house, a couple houses over here on 149th Street.
Ranger 9 confirms power flashes, Gary. Ranger 9 confirms power flashes.
But right now, it's moving Del City, Tinker, Moore. Huge tornado, deadly tornado, back to Ranger 9. Very wide path tornado continues. It is so large we can barely see it.
The Crossroads crews, they drop south now. Has it moved on past I-35 yet?
No.
No. Okay. Stay there. Stay there. I'll give you the all clear when you can drop south.
Civil Defense calling in all staff in the metro area. This is a major...
Jack, get us back on the air.
We're up.
Scott, talk to me.
Yeah, we need to move, Gary. It's coming right at us.
Ranger 9.
Get east. East.
You guys go east. It's coming directly toward you.
Coming towards us.
Going directly toward you, northeast of 25. Get the heck out of there. He's right there by.
He's right on it.
It's on 240 east. Quick.
Are you moving east now?
Yeah, we're getting east. We're going east, Gary. I can still see it. It looks like it's increasing in width as we travel to the east on 240, and the winds are increasing out of the east.
We have a large circulation, large tornado continues on the ground. You folks, Tinker area, stream down South Del City, anywhere along 240, I-44, all the way over to southeast 44th, south of 29th. Well, boy, I tell you, over here, we better go in southeastern Oklahoma County, all the way from Reno south. Take immediate tornado precautions. Huge tornado in the Moore area. Damage is severe. Get below ground. You folks to the south of this storm, get below ground immediately. This is absolutely incredible. I tell you, this is deadly serious. We've been talking about it for an hour or two now. The damage is massive.
The next street over, they said nobody's been over there. They've got some injured people next street over.
I have cars flattened. It's gone across I-35 here. There's extreme damage. People were hiding underneath the bridge. Their cars are flattened. Just to the east of me, I have what looks like a mobile home park or an apartment complex that is totally destroyed.
Okay.
They need a lot of help out here, Gary.
Ranger 9, that's one storm in the Midwest City, Tinker area. And still has, looks like, should be still producing damage on the ground as we speak.
You see car alarms doing this, and just the smell of natural gas was just incredible.
We're powered up on the bank.
10-4, and we'll still, you guys just roll your video from the truck. Just describe what's going on out there. Tell us where you are.
Large, long-track tornado continues. It is moving Del City, Tinker, Draper Lake. Boy, I can't believe this.
Midwest Regional Hospital, 75 plus injured, 2 confirmed fatalities. Southwest Medical Center, 75 plus victims, 4 confirmed fatalities. University, 11 injured. Children, 6 injured. St. Anthony's, 9 injured. Norman Regional, 30 injured. Some critically, 1 confirmed dead now.
After moving through Del City and Midwest City, this devastating storm system spawned 2 more tornadoes in Oklahoma County, at Choctaw and Jones. During the next few hours, more damaging tornadoes would flare up to the west, north, and east of Oklahoma City. The damage was severe, and before this day ended, 51 tornadoes would slash across the Oklahoma landscape. 10 tornadoes hit Canadian County just to the west of Oklahoma City, with the strongest, an F3, tracking from north El Reno to west of Piedmont. 15 tornadoes struck Kingfisher County. 2 were F3s, and 1, an F4, smashed through Dover. Just north of Oklahoma City, 6 tornadoes blasted Logan County. An F4 devastated Mulhall, and later caused significant damage in the Perry area. Then a short time later, an F3 twister tracked very close to the earlier F4 path. Another long-track supercell thunderstorm produced tornadoes at Pink, in the Shawnee area, Meeker, and finally Stroud. After spending my entire working life in meteorology, I have to tell you, this was the most concentrated, devastating tornadic outbreak I've ever seen. And obviously, all of us hope we'll never see anything like this again.
When May 3rd, deadly force continues. Gary needs these eyes in the field. But what's it really like out there, chasing alongside an F5?
That's when I started getting worried.
Storm trackers steering into danger. Next.
We can hear the tornado roaring. We're close enough to hear it. We're just about to get hit with debris.
Foolish risk takers, thrill seekers, courageous heroes. They've been described many ways, but whatever else you say, you've got to call them life-saving.
That thing is still on the ground, and it's still very large.
Tornado on the ground. It looks like starting to increase in size.
You hear them.
There's a large tornado on the ground.
The controlled voices coming to you from the path of the storm.
We have another large tornado to our southwest.
Their eyes, a vital link in keeping you safe from the storm. But what you don't hear...
This is unbelievable!
Be careful here, we're about to get in the bear's cage.
No, we're not.
...are the moments for which these men and women live.
This is a dream.
What you don't see are the challenges for which storm trackers hope and pray they won't die.
1,000 things are going through my mind, okay? As far as I've got to pick which road to go on.
We're going to go east here.
Where's the tornado going?
There it is, right over there.
Which direction is it headed?
It's about a half a mile down the road from us now, Gary.
Where do we need to go to stay up with it?
Let's go.
How can we get close enough to it?
It's leveled all the power lines. Oh, brother.
How can we stay far enough away from it?
We're going to have to retreat, Gary.
Plus, I got to watch for traffic.
You're gonna run into it!
I got to talk on the phone.
You got Val, put Val on the
I got to think of what I'm going to say to 100,000 people.
There's lots of debris in the air right now, lots of debris.
While keeping in mind those words can either create harmful panic or just the right amount of urgency to save lives. And in the case of May 3rd, many lives.
Okay, we've got a significant tornado. I can tell it's rotating very strongly.
Storm trackers Val Castor and Amy Johnson know this drill. They have been chasing storms for years and they have seen a lot of tornadoes. Yet still, early in the day on May 3rd, this storm seemed a little more violent and a whole lot more determined than most storms.
We were probably half a mile from this tornado, okay, and then it just started decreasing.
It's just about dead.
As soon as that surreal tornado dissipated, Gary told me to look off to the east and tell him what I could see. He asked me what I saw, and I said, well, Gary, we got to get over there now.
The storm was definitely very ferocious. I mean, we have never seen anything like that before, ever.
On a scale of 1 to 10, this tornado was an 11. We were following it the whole time. But at that point, somewhere north of Chickasha, that's when I started getting worried about this tornado possibly going through Oklahoma City.
It was one more of the many thoughts racing through his mind while racing to stay with the storm and racing against the clock.
There's absolutely no time to be scared.
Because in all storms, time is too valuable. But in a storm this size, time is the one thing that can mean the difference between life or death. On May 3rd, the trackers understood this role as never before, and they pushed the limits to get those warnings out.
There was only one point at which I thought we might have been a little bit close. We had lots of debris above us and falling around us. Yeah, we were probably a half a mile to 3/4 of a mile from the tornado, but When you start having large chunks of debris falling all around you, that's when it's time to back off.
But they didn't back off much. They stayed right with it as it continued to grow stronger along its deadly course, helplessly watching as it grew ever stronger and moved toward the city and neighborhoods and lives.
That's what made this storm so different. I mean, as it got toward a metropolitan area, it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you knew what could happen. You actually have a sick feeling in your stomach, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We were using the two-way warning, telling Gary, and this is a bad deal. We've seen injured people. We've seen people who have lost their lives. You've seen the grass pulled out of the ground. Buildings taken a quarter of a mile away.
For tracker Mark Dawson, the thrill of the chase came to a heartbreaking halt. That's where he came face to face with harsh reality, with the deadly force of this storm.
We arrived right under that underpass before those people had even come down, and it was minutes after.
How many we got hurt? We got 2 hurt, we got 1 missing, officer.
The 2 men had their legs broken.
Somebody needs ambulance. If you got any, I think we can get one. You got any compresses?
A little boy was missing his mother.
They were trying to find the lady. Well, we found her.
She went up under the underpass, was protecting him from the debris and things. She was holding on to him. She could tell that if she held on to him any longer, she was going to pull him too. And she just told him that she loved him and let go.
That was the little boy's mother.
So we show up right after that's happened, and everyone's covered in mud. They're all kind of in a daze, not knowing what's happened. And you can see him. Plus, you can see in the foreground, going away, this large tornado headed toward the city where lives were going to be changed forever.
Or lost completely.
I mean, as a person, you just feel for these people.
And that's exactly why these storm trackers take the risks they take.
We've got to be out there to save lives. That's our #1 priority. Not to get video, not to say I've been close to the biggest tornado in history. That's our job, is to save lives.
At the end of this deadly day, the storm trackers were safe, their lives spared, but not unchanged.
I respect these things more than I ever have before.
And those words will continue to hang in the air each time storm clouds build on the horizon.
Dr. Gary. Hello. Hello. Yeah, you probably should start shooting video.
Next, the tornado was miles away, but its force found this photographer and marked him as a target. Plus, meet the man who gave you this bird's eye view. May 3rd, Deadly Force. We'll be right back.
Ranger 9, Ranger 9, Ranger 9.
While Gary was telling everyone else to get underground to survive, this guy was tracking the killer storm above ground, well above ground.
You're going to hear that story in a moment. But first, there's a near-death experience I want you to see. This is an overlooked danger that poses more of a threat to your safety than tornadoes because it strikes much more often and usually without warning. Photographer Rich Kriegel was staked out on the north side of the storm. His camera was poised, ready to capture shots as this massive tornado inched its way toward Moore and Del City. But this storm would take an unexpected shot at him.
Right after I wiped off the lens of the camera, I tilted up, and this truck received a lightning hit. My left hand was on the truck hood. I wasn't grounded. If I had been grounded, most likely the doctor said I'd be dead.
He had been struck by lightning and lived to tell about it. And from now on, his storm footage will be shot from inside the truck, looking out.
Gary always says, stay in your vehicle. And he's right. You can get some great pictures, but it's not worth your life.
There's no taking cover from a deadly tornado when you're following its ugly path. And that's a reality News 9's Leroy Tatum has come to know quite well.
Conditions are pretty favorable for some explosive thunderstorm development.
They typically will send us out early before the storms actually form and tell us to go wait at a certain place, and then when the storm forms, we'll fall in behind it. Traditionally, these storms only last 10 or 15 minutes and they're gone. The funnel dissipates, but of course this one kept going.
Take your immediate tornado precautions.
It was just bigger and looked meaner from the air. And at one point there were two funnels coming out of it. One was a big stovepipe, going straight to the ground. And the other was a little bit smaller funnel.
Ranger 9 confirms power flashes, Gary.
We usually stay about 2 or 3 miles away, and we can feel when there's a lot of inflow, a lot of air moving into the storm. And if it feels like we're starting to be sucked in, then we'll turn and fly the other direction.
And a smaller tornado on the left. Ranger 9, hold your shot. Hold your shot.
I thought there was probably going to be a lot of people hurt because just starting at Bridge Creek and then coming into the city, there was just like a big red furrow in the ground where the tornado had gone. And it was unbelievable. We've been chasing tornadoes for 11 years now that I've been here, and this is by far the worst. We ended up flying probably 3 hours and 15, 3 hours and 20 minutes from the time we took off to the time we finally landed. And it's tiring. And plus, there's a lot of anxiety.
What's your greatest fear?
Crashing, getting killed. But that doesn't happen very often. It hasn't happened to me, so.
No, danger isn't his middle name, but flying close to it is just part of the job. So the next time you see Ranger 9, remember, Leroy's up there, following the action.
Leroy and Ranger 9 captured amazing video as the tornado tracked through the state. But the footage that came later was just as awe-inspiring and more heartbreaking. Chris Halsney takes you on a tour of the destruction.
Westmore High School, with its cars still littering the parking lot, is just to the left. The homes where most of the kids who went to that school live are gone. This neighborhood between Santa Fe and I-35 and south of 104th Street is one of the most heavily damaged, the widest path of the storm. Kelly Elementary School sits off to the right, obliterated. We're crossing Shields and I-35 where traffic was stopped. People were huddled under their overpass. The Highland and Highland Park neighborhood sits below us. The tornado continues on a northeastern path, but you can see it's going to start turning north. That's Eastern Avenue below us. You see a trucking company straight ahead and just to the left that was destroyed by the tornado just as it turned north. We're heading now through Del City. Tinker is off to the east, to the right. We're heading toward Midwest City and I-40. Around southeast 44th and southeast 59th in this area along Sunny Lane to Sooner, hundreds and hundreds of homes are completely gone. The path gets narrower after it passed over I-40, still obliterating homes and some businesses along that interstate route. But its destruction is nearing the end. As we approach the Heritage Park Mall, just to the north and east, the tornado picks up, it stops cold, and the most heavy destruction ceases.
Deep down, I knew the tornadoes were devastating. But until you get out there and see it firsthand, it really doesn't sink in. The small town of Mulhall took the brunt of one of the F4 tornadoes. It was at least a mile wide. Buildings that had lasted 100 years tumbled to the ground. I had a chance to visit the folks there. You did okay?
We're fine. We were east to here.
Anytime you visit an area like that, of course, in Mulhall, it was staggering what had happened to the people and to the town. Literally, the entire town was essentially blown away.
It was here.
Let's see.
We listened to you till you went off the air.
Did you?
Yes. Anything off there?
Not one person got killed. Not one.
Wow. Thank you.
A lot of people.
The 6 hours of pre-warning, just all beforehand and everything, that was what?
Oh, we knew it was coming. Yeah, oh yeah, you could see it.
By the time I got here.
Yeah.
My brother was up in that trailer house, you could see it up there in the frame.
Hey, have you ever seen devastation like this? No, I've never seen anything like this. These people lost everything, their homes, their church, their school, but they're thankful for their lives. Well, this thing was so big. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
I am too, Gary.
See ya.
Thanks for the notice.
Thank you, thank you. The damage was incredible, some of the worst I've seen. But the people of Mulhall are strong. They'll repair, rebuild, and move on. They are survivors.
This F5 took a lot, but it also left something behind. The blueprint of a killer storm. See how it could help us prepare for the future next. And now, May 3rd, deadly force continues.
Few people living had ever seen a tornado like the one that arrived May 3rd.
That's actually debris from houses and buildings.
As the National Weather Service tracked the monster F5, meteorologists knew they were seeing something extraordinary.
I have never seen a storm of this magnitude and a tornado of this intensity move through a populated area.
Car 21 in Chickasha confirms that tornado due west of Chickasha.
This tornado.
The warnings went out.
Shelter. Now, you folks in Pocasset, Tuttle, Amber, Mustang have time to move to a place of safety. This is when you should do it.
And television viewers got ample notice the tornado was bearing down on the metro. Today's technology did what it was supposed to do.
I think May 3rd was about as well as we could hope the warning system would work. Unfortunately, when we have a large tornado that moves into a population center, we still can't save everybody's life, but I think we've saved a great number that day.
Better forecasting in the future hinges upon research today, the kind that Daphne Zaras conducts with her mobile Mesonet unit.
We're trying to figure out why tornadoes form, and most of the hypotheses have to do with airflow in the vicinity of where the tornado forms. So how else can you measure the airflow other than a surface weather station?
The mobile Mesonet fleet has sophisticated instruments that measure wind speed, temperature, and dew point. GPS sensors deliver new data to the onboard laptops every 6 seconds. On May 3rd, 3 mobile Mesonets tracked tornadoes. They got data, they got video, they got excited.
Right now, crossing the interstate right now. There it goes.
We don't want things to be destroyed, but in order to get data on tornadoes, they have to happen.
That day, another weather research team was also chasing. Say hello to Dow, Doppler on wheels. During storm chasing, Dow trucks track in tandem.
The University of Oklahoma operates the only 2 Doppler on wheels in existence.
Setting up shop in about half a minute, Dow operators aim to focus dual Dopplers at a tornado, and thus to triangulate wind speed and direction inside the twister.
When we get very, very close, we can see very, very small details. It's as if you were looking at your hand, but instead of looking at arm's length, you were getting up very, very close so you could see the fingerprints.
On May 3rd, Weatherman got very, very close to the tornado and recorded these fingerprints.
At times, these winds are approaching 318 miles an hour.
And the Dow picked up what few have ever seen, the eye of the tornado.
Relatively clear eye in the center.
The Dow data from May 3rd will be analyzed for months. But other storm researchers have already noticed one remarkable statistic.
There were no fatalities between the ages of 4 and 24. No school-age children were killed at all in the tornado. And based on past records of fatalities in tornadoes, that's less than a 1 in 1,000 chance.
You get in a closet or you get in a bathroom.
That suggests that we've done a good job of teaching our children what to do if they're at home during a tornado. Warning, research, education. The keys to survival the next time the skies turn frightened. Dan Matthews, News 9.
When we come back, it tried to take everything, but this storm met a force it could not destroy. Oklahoma's strength, Oklahoma's spirit.
The pictures we've seen from May 3rd show the awesome power of nature. They show the absolute destruction left behind. They also show something else, our community, once again at its best when times are at their worst. Words are painfully inadequate to describe the surviving spirit of Oklahoma. It's coming right up alongside the turnpike. The circulation is about 6 miles across.
Power flashes from
We got hurt. We got 2 hurt. We got 1 missing.
She was holding on to me. She told me she loved me. She told me to close my eyes, and it got real bad. She let go.
Probably very near May, north of 149th Street on May.
Okay. All right.
parts. Numerous gas lines have been busted. No smoking.
Have you found anything?
Yeah, we already pulled out one guy.
How did you know who's there?
We just what we're doing right now, just yelling and seeing if anybody's answering, stuff like that.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
We'll rebuild, Shoot. Nothing like this is some little wind's gonna break us apart.
You got water over here? Watch out.
I was in a tornado about a year ago, and I knew how hard it was for everyone. And I wanted to give up all the money I had.
We just feel we're part of the community and we want to help the community out in this time of need.
It reminds me in the spirit of Oklahoma, you've got people really willing to help out. They're great.
Everybody starts pulling together. It's a great thing. It's a shame it has to be a disaster to pull everybody together.
We're alive. We lost the battle, but we will win the war.
I got some food. You want some? Yeah. Okay. People are wonderful around here, I'll tell you right now.
And then I got you some oatmeal.
Oh, that's
pie.
good.
I know you need that.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that you possibly need to live and survive right now.
Do you guys want a hamburger chicken sandwich?
It doesn't matter how much they take. We'll give them as much as they want, as much as they need. It was difficult at first, but I think, as you can see, there's a well-oiled machine now. People of Oklahoma are kind, loving people.
I walked into the tree line, caught a movement out the corner of my eye. I stopped, looked. Under some debris around the base of a tree, I seen what appeared to be a baby. It looked to me like a rag doll. I reached under the debris and pulled the baby out. When I did, the baby started crying, and I figured then we were going to be okay.
You don't even have to ask. They come and ask you, can I help? May I?
Would you like any water? Are y'all thirsty? Yeah, lots of water. Would you like any more? Here, I got the baby food. Huh? Yeah, we got gloves.
I never ate so much in all my life.
Want a sandwich?
They're here to help each other. One guy's got 2 sandwiches, he gives you 1. These people out here are amazing, really amazing.
May 3rd, Deadly Force continues in a moment.
You've seen the pictures. To say we'll be picking up the pieces from this storm for years to come is most likely a huge understatement. And although the rebuilding has already begun, complete recovery will take longer, much longer.
Right in front of us, it's leveled a house.
After the tornado passed, after the dust settled, the full cost of a storm that stretched from Chickasha to Tulsa hit home.
There was a freight train coming through, and we were in the middle of it.
First, the human toll, 44 dead. Then, the material loss. Over 8,000 homes, mobile homes and apartments completely destroyed. Another 3,000 to 4,000 with major damage. But those numbers can't capture the psychological harm done.
I mean, you best look at these people. They've lost their home. They have no roof over their head. Yes, they're provided housing. Yes, they're provided other forms of assistance. But the fact of the matter is their comfort area is totally gone.
Many times it rained.
Like many a displaced homeowner, Virginia Crow has no way of calculating her loss. Her home of 20 years, gone. She won't rebuild here.
I said I don't want to be here when they demolish it. That's when the tears will come. Because I've had it for so long, and it meant so much to us. But gone now.
Lots of homes are gone now, swept away by demolition crews. And more officials suspect some people will, for whatever reason, simply abandon their property.
Well, I hope that's not very much of it, but it very well could be. I'm told in other disasters around that they have had a lot of abandonment of properties, particularly in these Florida hurricanes down there, but we won't know that until probably several months from now.
But rebuilding has begun. Some Oklahomans have decided they won't be chased away by the bad memories of May 3rd. Their roots are here, and here they'll stay. Gan Matthews, News 9.
Once again, for you children that are home, get in the bathtub, get in between the stool and the wall. I say those words often, and in most Oklahoma storms, in most situations, they're adequate. But this storm was different. Many of our children have seen this deadly storm and its aftermath up close, and fears could linger for some time. So I want to take just a moment to talk to you kids. You know, the tornado we had on May 3rd, which we've been talking about, was very serious, was very dangerous, did many, many terrible things. Just keep in mind, a tornado that bad, like the one on May 3rd, is extremely rare. Chances are we will never see another one like that. Now, another one could happen, but you know what? Big tornadoes are not good, but the one good thing, if you can call it that, is that we can see them a long ways away. You'll have plenty of warning time. You'll be safe. The key thing, just know your safety precautions. You know, and usually it's just lowest level, smallest room, center part, closet or bathroom, middle part of the house. But if we ever have another F4, F5, you will hear me saying the same words once again. Find below ground shelter. And so what you do right now on a nice day, you start looking around. Where's some below ground shelter? You know, is there a church nearby? Is there a school nearby? Or is there a big building nearby that has a basement? So you always just plan ahead. You plan ahead at school, and you plan ahead at work, and you plan ahead at home. So just keep in mind, kids, what we have is extremely rare. Every time it thunders, you don't need to worry. Just plan ahead. And on behalf of everyone who works with me here to keep you safe from the storm, stay with TV9. We'll keep you advised. Good night. That is
we're ready to go.
Passing a little investigation, and we're just going to take a quick check. We're going to Kelly. Kelly, what do you have?
I'm about to run out of gas.
What the is that?
We got I'm sorry. We got a wedge tornado. Good God.
Multiple vortices. Wow, Tom.
Because I've got debris. It's a very large funnel. Very large funnel.
I just wanted to thank Gary England for the warning and all the weather crew. They're just super.
This News 9 special presentation has been brought to you by Voice Stream Wireless with 10 cents a minute weekdays and 0 cents weekends.